13 Love, I'm Shanore. I cover my head and dress modestly for spiritual reasons. I am also the owner of Ancestral Sister 913, where I do sell white head covers and shawls to help the righteous set themselves apart. And today, that's exactly what I want to talk about, is covering, right? So let's rap about that. Well, I'll say it like this. Freedom is trending, right? Freedom is trending, as it should be, perhaps, right? People want time freedom, people want freedom of expression, people want financial freedom, etc. And in a world where freedom is trendy or trending, covering up for spiritual reasons can actually feel restrictive or counterproductive, or just like something that you don't really want to do, right? Because you want that freedom of expression and you want to be yourself in all the things, right? But the truth is, covering up for spiritual reasons is actually one of the most freeing things that one can do, right? And it isn't about, or it wouldn't be about hiding your beauty. Rather, it would be more about redefining what true beauty actually is, right? And someone may be like, Shanore, well, how is that refining it? So someone who lives a life committed to covering themselves as such spiritually, what that man or woman is doing, they are taking the beauty, just very basic stuff here, people. They are taking your common or your beauty your worldly, your modern beauty standards. They are taking those things, and we are taking those things and pushing them past the physical. When you are showing up in a world covered up specifically for spiritual reasons, you are taking beauty past the physical, and the statement that you're carrying and walking with, the mission that you're walking with is, you don't need to see my face to know whether or not I'm beautiful. I don't have to walk around with big bouncing curls and weave or whatever for me to feel beautiful or to let you know I'm beautiful. You don't need to see my body, my shape, my skin, my nails, my whatever. Covering up moves beauty out of the physical category, come on, into the real category in which it was designed anyway, and it pushes it back into the internal category. Because when you see that covered man or woman that lives this lifestyle regularly, I don't look like this every single day, but I look like a version of this every single day. Know that, right? But that person is putting the focus on beauty. That person is putting beauty back where it actually belongs. Beauty is internal, it's innate, it's a divine thing. It's really not so much this physical thing. Now, of course, women, we are a delight, physically. Men are a delight. There are some beautiful men in the world, 913. But it's not true beauty. That's not true beauty. You can look at these so-called celebrities and these Kardashians and all these people who booked and busy and snatched and dizzy, or whatever it is that they call themselves, right? Pretty or beautiful to someone on the outside, but what does the soul look like? What does the character look like, right? And so again, a person covered up like this pushes beauty back into that real category of being a more internal thing. And now it goes from, oh, she's beautiful because her face looks like, or here, you're beautiful because of ba. And now it's like, she's beautiful because I can see her soul. I can't really see her face that good, but what I feel when I'm around her is lovely. She feels beautiful to me. She feels light. He or she feels kind. Covering up like this puts more of an emphasis on the inside. It's highlighting, right? Because people think that this is like hiding. It's not hiding. A person who lives a life like this is highlighting the things that actually matter. their intellect, their mental, their personality, their kindness, their integrity, their discipline. That's all you really getting from a person who lived their life looking like this. You can't make no judgments about, you see what I'm saying? And when you are faced with those things, the intellect, the character, the integrity, the discipline, the grace of the person, the heart of the person, the kindness or lack thereof of a person, when you're faced with that stuff, when you get slapped in your face with that stuff from a person, that's how you make a real, come on somebody, that's how you make a more informed decision about if somebody is beautiful or not. Because if that person is looking all good and whatnot on the outside, but they treat their mama unwell, how handsome is a man that treats his mother bad? How beautiful is a woman that treats her children bad or treats her husband bad? How beautiful is a woman that is sleeping with everybody? You know what I'm saying? That's not cute. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're covered up, point here is when you're covered up, you're placing real beauty back in this proper category. Beauty can't be bought. They say money can't buy you class. I'm saying money can't buy you beauty. Yes, you can put on your Fenty and your Charlotte LaRousse or whoever these people, all these, you can put on your MAC and all that stuff, but beauty is fleeting. Yeah, right? But a woman who fears the creator, like, come on somebody, like this is where the beauty lies. This is where the worth is. This is where the value is. 9:13. And then I think another major point here is like women love to like weaponize what they feel like is beauty. And it's like, oh my gosh, don't, if my ass and titties make you uncomfortable or make you insecure, that's a you problem. And I can't help it. I look like this and I look good and the Most High made me and I'm going pop, 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 pop. Women like to kind of weaponize their beauty and, I don't know. I guess they think everybody mad and hating on them and things of that sort for looking like they look. When really it's like, this is the thing. A woman playing that game, a man playing that game, they're playing the easiest game just about known to man. Because one who has their body and their souls on display by way of being uncovered and half naked in this world, right? That's prostitution. If you looking back in the ancient times and ancient days and ancient ways, everybody walking around uncovered in that fashion was automatically assumed to be a prostitute. So being uncovered like that, that's the easiest thing you can do, okay? And so I'm making this point that it's being covered. That's where the strength lies. That's where the courage lies. That's where the wisdom and the discernment lies. Because it's like, most women got breast and butt. You know what I'm saying? But to put that up, cover that up, put that away, and live a life that's dedicated to the Creator, and then you look like it by covering up the little meaning, I won't call, the female anatomy meaningless, but you know what I'm saying? So to put that away, to put that up and dress in a way that makes the Creator happy, that's a sister that's worth something. That's a sister or a man with some strength, because this is what makes the Creator happy. And so to weaponize your body and what you think is beauty, like, you only making you happy with that. You only making the adversary happy with that. You only making little nasty bug-eyed, you see what I'm saying? Little sketchy, dangerous men. You only making them bastards happy with that. You know what I'm saying? And some women also like to, kind of weaponize or use this thing like, we came into the world naked. Yeah, you did. And I like to say to that, you also came into the world shitting, snotting, and crying. But if you was in scooting, but if you was sitting around still doing that stuff today as an adult, we'll be trying to admit you into a hospital somewhere, right? And so you got to think about that, right? Like the word also says, when you were a child, you did childish things like took off your pamper and ran around the house naked, right? Babies do that. You know what I'm saying? But if you still taking off your diaper, taking off your bottoms and your tops and stuff as an adult, you still some kind of child, right? And it's these women, don't get me to going, because it's these women, especially today, who love to say that, oh, I'm spiritual, right? With their titties out. I'm so spiritual, right? But I would say, when you see a woman or a man uncover like that, talking about their spiritual, what they're really, number one, it ain't true. But number two, what they're really displaying is their spiritual infancy. Because you came into this world naked as a baby, but you're supposed to put away your childish things and stop snatching off your diaper and grow up, cover up, protect yourself, and ... right? But if you still running around here half naked with your bottoms off, snatching off your diaper, you see what I'm saying? Like, you ain't too spiritual. You're clearly still in more of a spiritual infancy, because you got your soul exposed out here. But maybe I'm digressing a little bit. But what I do want to communicate is that covering up, whether it's head covering, modesty, covering your head, your body, your face, whatever, covering up for spiritual reasons is being very deliberate and intentional about what you are choosing to communicate with your appearance, right? A half-naked person is choosing to communicate with their appearance. You see where I'm going? Because people who dress like that are sexy. I did some study on this years ago, like very kind of basic stuff, like SEXY. I can't even remember, like to add a Y at the end of the word. I should have looked this up. I think it's like a form of, I can't remember, but basically, to be sexy is to mean like, is to invoke a spirit or appearance of sex. And so a person who chooses to uncover like that, the message that they're choosing to communicate with their appearance is sex. But they don't want to be harassed by little creepy, nasty men. Make it make sense. You see what I'm saying? And so we're being deliberate about what we're choosing to communicate when you cover up like this. So I think where I was going with that was, if you are feeling called to cover your head, to cover your body, to cover your sanctity, do that. And be deliberate about what you're choosing to communicate with your appearance. And then lastly, well, before I go there, if you're thinking about it, you feel like you're being called, led to it, do that. And know this, especially or specifically for women, know this, sister. You can still be elegant, feminine, creative, graceful, fashionable, all the things covered up just like this right here. You can still be all the things just like this right here. And so now, lastly, the Honorable Rabbi Apostle Nisan Amaru Bey. Now, everybody may not believe in past lives. That's your business, right? But the Honorable Rabbi has said, whatever we are doing in this life, we've been doing it, child. You were doing it in your past life. So if you are feeling called to cover your head, if you feel called to cover your body, if you feel called to cover your face, if it's interesting or intriguing to you or whatever it may be, perhaps you are not, or if you're just now dabbling in modesty, head covering, whatever, perhaps you are not discovering modesty for spiritual reasons, but perhaps you are remembering. Right? 13 love. Thanks for being here. Bye bye.